Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales, the upcoming Spider-Man game. Before we start, I want to ask you to subscribe for that series, which will be coming out a day or two after the game's first launch. So I wanted to talk about the combat systems in both games. So in Spider-Man PS4 or Spider-Man PS4 Remastered, and then we have Spider-Man Miles Morales. So they look basically the same. You still have your traditional close attacks and like your web strike, I think it was called. This time though, there are different animations for it, which makes perfect sense. You still have a focus bar to heal. I don't think finishes are returning from the previous game, but I wanted to kind of go over why I think that the combat is good, but it's very similar. I wanted to kind of just compare and contrast the combat systems. But we have the original game, which was mostly using gadgets, focus to heal, you had a health bar, you attacked in a few different ways, it was air combat. Now all the base moves from the old game are returning, air combat comes back, the close quarters combat with square, web strike with triangle gadgets return. There are only 4 gadgets this time though. We saw it in a clip, I don't know where it is, but I saw it somewhere where there's only 4 gadgets in the whole game, which is kind of lame, but again, he has his Venom Blast. But Miles has evolved much further than Peter. You have his camo mode, which you can activate. I don't think you can activate whenever you want, but you can basically activate it whenever enemies aren't seeing you. This makes stealth stupidly easy. I think enemies can still notice you, even if you're invisible. But obviously you have to do something to make them spot you first. But it is kind of a weird situation, because it's like, how is it going to work? How is the camouflage power going to work? In the comics, you can use it for quite a long time. I don't know how it's going to be in the game. I presume it's going to have quite a low timer to it, so you can't just spam it or use it forever to kill every enemy without being seen. That'd be a bit too overpowered. Then you have his Venom Blast. You have this like Venom Blast meter as well in the corner of the screen whenever Miles Morales is fighting. And it's really cool. It is kind of stupidly overpowered. In the comics, it evolves from where he can pinch you and then you get like electrocuted really heavily, and it evolves to the point where he can basically shoot it out of his hand. But it never gets to this point where he can just fire it everywhere and go crazy with it. It is definitely quite overpowered. I presume the enemies are going to have quite a lot of health to compensate for this bullshit, in my opinion. But I presume enemies are going to be quite powerful and are going to be able to take quite the hit, because he's going to be killing a lot of them, let's face it. I know that Spider-Man doesn't kill, but he's probably going to end up killing at least one of these guys with his